So we
Yeah.
saw Lisa Karen in various different settings, from serious to comedic in the first part of season two. What sort of shenanigans can we expect Lisa Karen to get into in the second half of the season?
Well, I can't say much. My journey definitely takes an unexpected turn. I can say that much. Yeah, you'll definitely get more of the funny, more of the serious as well, and definitely some heartwarming moments as well.
So I'm curious, what was your initial reaction when you got the confirmation for the role of Lisa Karen?
I was really excited, really excited. I mean, I love the character. So I was really excited to be playing a character like Lisa Karen. It also was just a confirmation that things happen for a reason, because I had auditioned for the show twice before. And the time before I auditioned for Lisa Karen, I almost got it and then didn't, and I was really disappointed. And it was 2 years later, I think, or 1 year later, that I got Lisa Karen. And I was really happy. It was just a confirmation that when one door closes, another one opens. I was like, oh wow, okay. I should really just trust the journey because this was meant to happen.
Were all three auditions for Lisa Karen, or did you audition for another role initially?
No, I originally auditioned for Tully when the show was first casting, and then I auditioned for another character in season 1 that was only in like one episode, and I almost booked it, but then I had a conflict with another show I was doing at the time. And so they couldn't have me on, and I was really sad. But then a year later,
Yeah,
I
I was gonna say, I
yeah.
feel like that's fate. Is there anything that you can tease for the second half of the season?
Um I don't know how much I can say. Definitely more adventures. I mean, the teaser that they released is like literally made me cry. um it's it's so emotional, and it's so heartwarming. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is just that it'll definitely pull on your heartstrings.
Playing this versatile role that we see in flashbacks, do you have a favorite Lisa Karen scene in terms of filming? Have we already seen it in the first part, or is it is it to come up in the second?
Ooh, one of my favorite scenes is definitely coming up in the second part. I think you'll know which one it is. Um, yeah. So that scene was probably my favorite. I love the scene where I'm I'm leading the meeting, the AV club meeting, only because I got that gavel, and it was so much fun to just like decide when to bang it and like do all of that stuff. I love weird props, and just having my little name tag and all of the little papers that I had, like it was just so much fun for me.
It's so funny that you mentioned that scene. I think it's a little bit later on in that episode where you come up and you're like breaking the party at the AV club, and then they're like, "Oh no!" and then you grab the liquor bottle. That's one of my favorite scenes. Um,
Okay, that too. That too.
and without giving anything away, can you give us a little bit of information on what your favorite scene is going to include? Maybe like a little background.
Well, I can't really say, because it has to do with like a new character that comes
Okay.
in the second part, so I can't really say much on that. Um, I can say that Lisa Karen comes in and interrupts a moment, but I can't really say anything other than that. I can tell you a fun fact about your favorite scene, though, is that the whole part with the liquor bottle actually wasn't written in. We decided that on the day that was gonna happen.
We love
um
improv. Yes.
yeah, so I kind of we kind of came up with that. It was which was on the day, which was really, really fun. There were so many moments in that scene, specifically the whole party sequence, that just kind of happened on the day. Like there's a part where that it cuts to me Allie, who plays Tully, kind of asleep on the couch, like lying on each other. Like that was our idea. It wasn't written in. Like it just funny little things that that were kind of sprinkled in, especially in that scene, I feel like.
I love that. I kind of want to venture off. So outside of the obviously very different genres, how was your experience working on Firefly Lane different from your long running role on Riverdale?
Um, it was really interesting because I was actually working on both shows at the same time. So you've got this like heartwarming, very show like Firefly Lane. Um, and then you've got like the teen drama of Riverdale, that's so fast paced. And Firefly Lane is a little bit more like it's got a fast pace too, but in a totally different way from Riverdale. It's a lot less intense. Um, so it was really interesting to kind of go between the two worlds, even in the same week. I think I literally had 1 week where I spent 6 days and 6 days on set in that 1 week, and 3 days were on Riverdale and 3 days were on Firefly Lane. So what yeah, while I was filming the two, it was a pretty crazy couple of months that I was doing them both at the same time. But yeah, it was a really cool experience to be kind of going between two worlds. It felt like. So yeah, Riverdale was definitely more intense, and a lot of fun because of the weird stuff that you get to do, like casting spells and playing football, and there's always something random going on that show, which is a lot of fun. And then doing something heartwarming like Firefly Lane, and really kind of bringing it back um into the heart, I feel like, was a really cool experience as well. So
What was it like knowing that Britta was initially only supposed to be in 2 episodes, but because of the fan reception to the character and everyone clinging to her, you were able to become a recurring guest star?
it was really amazing, honestly. It was a really cool experience. Because I didn't know how many episodes, I even when I got brought back that third time, I didn't know how many episodes they were bringing me back for. It was basically just on an episode to episode basis. So I'd be doing one episode, and then all of a sudden I'd get an email from my agent being like, they want you for the next one. And then I'd be like, okay, great, one more. And then I'd be doing that next one, and then I'd get an email from my agent being like, they want you for the next one again. And I'd be like, okay, cool, one more. And then all of a sudden that, oh, one more became like 20 episodes. And all of a sudden I'd been on the show for 2 years and kind of created a family within the crew, and had one of the most amazing set experiences I've ever had. So it just kind of developed as it went on. It wasn't really expected. But I kind of think that's just like the best things in life are unexpected. So it was really cool and an honor to be brought back on a show that big.
Was that the case for the entire filming? I know that season 5 was a little sporadic, but season 6 was where you really picked it up. Was that for season 6 as well, where they just did it like on an episode by episode basis?
Yeah, on during season 6, I knew the writers a little bit better, so I had more of an idea of like that my storyline was gonna continue. But still, like I didn't have any sort of episode guarantee like you do when you're a series regular, um, in terms of the technicality of it. So I didn't know how many episodes I was gonna be brought on for. Yeah.
Well, thankfully, it was a long run. Uh,
Yeah.
what have you learned from both of these projects that you'll use in future roles?
Um, oh wow. Firefly Lane, and the character of Lisa Karen, I definitely learned a lot about commitment. I think Lisa Karen is just, she's such a particular person, and character, that she has so many isms to her, so many little ticks and physicality, um just little particularities in her physicality that I really had to just believe myself and what I was doing, because some days I really just felt like I was making a complete fool of myself, because I was. But I just had to own it and have fun with it and just commit to what I was doing 100%. Because otherwise it would probably make you uncomfortable as an audience member watching somebody who's like, I think I should be doing this, but I don't really know. So I definitely learned a lot about commitment from Lisa Karen. And working on the Riverdale set, I feel like I really just learned to be myself on set. That yeah, I feel like you can worry a lot when you're in those big rooms with, people who, like, I was a fan of the show even before I was on the show. And the show was already very established before I was on it, so it's definitely very intimidating to go into those environments and just take up space. But I really learned just to work hard and do what I do best, and what I love, which is perform. So yeah, I feel like I really learned to just trust myself.
Well, that kind of transitions into my next question. I know that you began musical theater training at the age of 4. You began your career as a child actor at 7 with your guest role on Psych. Has acting always been your dream, or was that something that initially began because of your parents?
I basically, my mom put me into dance when I was young because she was a dancer. And so that was always gonna be, my after school activity as long as I liked it. But she put me into musical theater when I was young because she was like, what do I do with this child who won't stop talking and who has so much energy? Like, I just think she needs to be on stage. And I'm so grateful that my mom had that intuition or that thought or whatever it was, because from that young age I fell in love with it and just have loved it ever since. Yeah, my parents aren't in the industry. My mom still takes tap classes, but she's a teacher. So it really was just because they saw me as a person and were like, I think this person is a performer.
And now they get to brag about you to their students.
Exactly.
I'm curious, what's one goal that you have for your acting career?
Mm. My biggest thing right now is that I want to be on Broadway. I've always wanted to do that ever since I was a little kid. That when I think of it is my childhood dream. So I definitely need to do that one day. Other than that, I'm still working on my growing my career in the TV and film industry as well as theater. So I want to be able to do both. It's a hard thing to do both because they're so different. And TV and film is so, like, if you get an audition, you get a call next week and then you're off to a different country for 3 months filming a random thing. Whereas theater, you know that you have a 3-month contract or a 6-month contract, like a year in advance sometimes. So it's hard to balance the two and know where you'll be. But I want to continue doing both and continue growing in both.
My last question for you. If you could work with anyone on TV, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay, right now I'm going through a Cate Blanchett phase, so I'm gonna say Cate Blanchett because I've been really obsessed with her recently. And I just think she's so powerful as an actor. And I just think she has so much wisdom. I would love to learn from her. And just be in her presence. So that's my number one answer.